You can use opacity and fills on a layer to create some very interesting visual effects. For example, we're going to create a type effect on this image called door that you'll find in the work files folder inside the images folder. What I'm going to do is grab my type tool, and as you see here, I have a 150 point as my size. You can put whatever you like in there. And I'm going to use Myriad Pro Bold. I'll go ahead and click and type the word door. Now the beautiful thing is I can always increase the size of this guy myself by grabbing my selection tool or my move tool to turn the type tool off, and then pressing Command or Control T on the keyboard to get these resize handles. I'm going to go ahead and hold down Shift, and I'm going to increase the size of that quite a bit. And then I'll double click to accept that. Now, as you see here, we have a fill color. To really get a feel for this effect, we're going to add a layer style. So let's go to Layers, and on the bottom, you're going to go to this little effects here. Let's add an outer glow. I'll move this over, and I'm going to increase the size of that glow quite a bit like this. And I'm going to change the color of it to a bluish color like this. And once again, I'm going to increase the size and say OK. Now let's talk about what opacity will do. Opacity looks at every pixel on your layer and will reduce the opacity or increase the opacity based on the slider. So we're able to see through that word as we decrease the opacity. And now it's more opaque when we go all the way back up. But the cool effect comes down here when it says fill. Fill is going to ignore the special effects and only focus on the pixels here. So the actual letters will vanish, leaving the outline as we drop this slider down. And you get this really awesome effect now of like ghosting. So keep that in mind when you're working on the opacity and fill. Opacity will pretty much handle every pixel on the layer, whereas fill will ignore special effects and go ahead and get rid of the fill inside of your letters or whatever pixels you have there as well. So that's the difference between the opacity and the fill slider.